Hey everyone, welcome back to this week's episode of Tent Talk, the Farmers Market podcast. This is a show all about farmers markets. Whether you're a new or experienced farmers market manager, farmer, or a food producer selling at farmers markets, this is the podcast for you. On today's episode of Tent Talk, we're talking about holiday events that encourage shoppers to visit the market and use local foods for their traditional holiday meals. Hi, I'm Brijet Myers, one of your hosts of Tent Talk, and I'm a current farmers market manager in San Diego, California, running 3 farmers markets a week. And I'm doing it all from placing the porta potties in the right location at the market to social media marketing to pulling permits, all that good stuff.
Oh, it's permit time.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. And I'm Catt White, the director of San Diego Markets, founder of Farmers Market Pros, working hard on lining up our slate of speakers for the next conference, and still hands-on at farmers markets 3 times a week here in San Diego.
Still remembering
barricades,
remembering to
maps.
Pay attention to our farmers markets while we're doing all these fun events and conference stuff.
It all works together.
It is. Just join hands.
Absolutely.
I like it. We have a mixed pot. Awesome. So today we're going to talk about using the upcoming holiday season to rev up the fun at your markets and remind your shoppers of ways to use local farmers and food makers' products for holiday meals and celebrations. We've seen so many fun ideas from markets around the country. Gave us a great idea to talk about it.
Yeah. See what you're doing. I mean, it's a great way to kind of leverage holiday season, which is busy. If you're not careful, your shoppers can get caught up in other things happening, events at their kids' school or things going on in the community. You want to remind them to include the market as part of their holiday tradition, to find the best ingredients for all of their holiday foods, and, just bring it to their attention. Really important to keep posting about when your hours are. If you're making any schedule changes during the holidays, be sure you remind shoppers of that. So ramp up that social media. Make sure your Instagram and Facebook posts are mentioning that. Be sure you keep reminding people in your email newsletters of the fact that you are open, if you are, or that you're closed, if, say, your market falls on Thursday and you're going to close it up. Have we ever been open on a Thanksgiving Day? I don't think so. Because we've never had a morning market on Thursdays. I think if I had a morning market on Thursday, I might consider it.
Yeah, never just was last minute shopping. Some people are out of town, but it's nice people have family in town. They want to come to a market. Yeah. But definitely our Thursday evening market was always closed.
Yeah, we always close Thursday evening.
Yeah.
And we usually close Christmas Eve at any market that's in the afternoon or evening. Again, though, I think we've been open on Christmas Eve at our big Saturday market because it's in the morning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, but stocking up for the meal and that kind of thing.
Yeah. But this year we have a Tuesday market, an evening market that's open on Christmas Eve, or not open. It falls on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve.
And a Wednesday morning market that fall on Christmas and New Year's. And actually, if the Wednesday market were a little older, more established, I think we'd be open. We've been open before at some markets on New Year's Day because that's that big New Year's resolution push. Everybody gets up that morning and says, hey, let's eat healthy. Let's go to the farmer's market and get cupcakes. Yeah. But, they're farmer's market cupcakes, so they're healthy. It's all part of your New Year's resolution. But I think because that market is relatively new still, it's not quite in people's habits, and so they may assume that it's closed. So we're probably going to take that off this year.
Yeah, more hassle to try to force it open. So you kind of have to weigh your markets.
Right.
What kind of markets are they? What's your usual shopper turnout around like those kind of holidays? How old is it? What kind of habits have people established at your markets? And make a really thoughtful decision whether or not to stay open or close for the day or to adjust your hours.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I think most markets are closed here in the States on Christmas. Mm-hmm. But, I can imagine if you were in an area that was a primarily ethnic area with maybe Jewish shoppers and Hindus and, people that didn't celebrate Christmas, it might make sense to be open on Christmas. I don't know. If you're out there and you're running a market that's open on Christmas, let us know. Yeah. I'd be interested to see how that works out. But you have to look at your own shoppers, your own demographic.
For sure. Yeah. And, we see restaurants that are open on Thanksgiving and Christmas, and they're just kind of feeling it out and trying to figure out if their clientele would want them to be open, if they can make it work with their staff. So, it just depends on that. Yeah. But typically you'll see markets closed on Thanksgiving Day, Christmas Eve evening, and Christmas Day.
Yeah. So. Part of it is giving our farmers and vendors a chance to take off and be with their family, since it is such a big holiday, whether on a religious level or nowadays just on a kind of national holiday level. Christmas is a big deal in America. And so our a lot of family traditions are tied up in that, and our farmers and vendors want to be off too. So.
Yeah, and just around the holidays, if your farmers and vendors have children that are not in school, then they'll have, childcare
different
issues
challenges
and things like that. So just being aware of that kind of stuff.
But for the markets that are open around the holidays, leading up to all of these different holidays are a great time to use for additional celebration, maybe placing some specialty vendors and reminding shoppers to come out and have a good time at the market, consider the market part of their holiday traditions, and buy things from your farmers.
Exactly.
And your vendors.
Yeah. It's a good time to just point out different farmers and vendors that maybe you don't talk about a whole lot or that aren't so mainstream, but are really have specific items for whatever holiday is happening. Or we just did Halloween kind of celebrations at our Tuesday and Wednesday market just a few weeks ago because Halloween fell on a Thursday. So we kind of pushed, if you're rev up your sweet tooth and come get, these sweet things, or pick up a gallon of Green Fix organic smoothie or healthy smoothie to kind of cancel out all the candy you're going to eat on Thursday. So that was fun.
Yeah.
And then doing costume contests or, tag us in your photos wearing a costume at the market is always a fun thing to do. Pumpkin carving. We've done arts and crafts and things like that. We've done scavenger hunts at our markets. This year, it just depends what your staff can handle. So this year, Catt and I are just really busy with all the conference stuff coming up. We have a big Christmas holiday kind of event coming up. And so this year we just did an Instagram contest, which is like no overhead, basically.
Right.
You just tell your customers to come to the market dressed up, take a picture of themselves at the market, tag the market, put some specific hashtag in there. And then our staff, of course, is going around taking pictures of shoppers that are dressed up and posting it. But we do that anyways. We take pictures of people, sipping their green drinks and all that at the market every week. So that was really low overhead and still a lot of fun for people.
A little overhead for prizes.
Yeah, prizes.
But well worth it. A lot of times we use market money for prizes or insulated bags, and all of those things lead to more sales. So,
exactly. It's our marketing tool.
For the vendor.
Yeah, that's what our marketing focus goes to, things like that. Yeah. And then appreciating your vendors and your farmers is the same thing. We had a costume contest for our farmers and vendors too. So if you go to our Farmers Market Pros Facebook page, you can see our album of photos that we took of our farmers and vendors dressed up. So much fun. They had a great time. Again,
our staff.
And our staff, yeah. So great. We even forced Adam to put on a little festive hat, our anti-dresser upper. But everyone had a good time.
Beyond the eye patch.
I was
impressed.
Eye patch. Yeah, so then, we give away things like, if you're looking for ideas for prizes to do it for any holiday event to get your farmers and vendors involved, we give them, market money that they can spend at their fellow farmers and vendors to buy things, $10 gift cards for the local coffee shop, which really ties your community in and helps them, just show them a little appreciation. And then we did do one grand prize was a free week of booth rent.
Yeah, so everybody always loves that.
Everyone loves that. So and it really helped everybody get into the spirit of things.
That's right.
So to speak.
It encourages them to dress up and make it fun for the shoppers. So it's a big circle.
Yep. So then your market feels really fun.
Yeah.
And everyone's jazzed up and it lifts the energy up at your market around a holiday, which could be a stressful thing. So think about that.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
So what's coming up next? Thanksgiving is late this year. It's just because since it's the fourth Thursday, that changes depending on when the month starts. And this year, it's not until November 28th. So that's really late in the month. Coming right on top of our Christmas festivals.
Christmas festivals the next week, yeah.
Yeah. But there's a lot of things you can do with Thanksgiving. A pumpkin patch that works at Halloween also works nicely at Thanksgiving, especially if you pair that with recipes for pumpkin pie and all those good things. Thanksgiving tends to be a better use of pumpkins. You don't see as much pumpkin waste. We kind of see a lot of waste on the Halloween side. Although we've got a farm near us that's doing a big gather your own jack-o'-lanterns and your neighbors, bring them down, and they have what's called a pumpkin smash.
Oh, yeah.
And they smoosh it all up and dig it into the dirt and make really good, rich compost out of it. So there's that.
That's a good lesson.
Yeah. Thanksgiving, good time to remind people that you can make amazing pumpkin pie by starting with real pumpkins. So that's always good. So recipe cards, any holiday, are such a wonderful thing. Recipe links in your email newsletters. Shopping lists in your email newsletters we find are crazy effective. Even though everybody's in a digital world now, we actually see people print out our email newsletters and arrive at the market clutching them with questions about where a particular farmer or vendor is so that they can buy the things that we've listed. So a shopping list, a little menu plan and shopping list is a good idea. Thanksgiving's a fun one, actually, if you concentrate on the thankfulness.
Exactly. Thank a farmer. We did that one year. We did a big thank a farmer thing. We had blank cards you could pick up at the info booth, and everyone could write a little thank you note to their favorite farmer or vendor at the market.
Yeah,
and it was really sweet and just, a cute little thank you for growing the carrots that I love so much, and the kids kind of did it. It was so sweet. So that's always a great, easy thing to do, and just remind your shoppers to thank the people that grow their food. You as market managers can thank your market participants and your shoppers. If you're a farmer's market vendor or a farmer selling at farmer's markets, think of who's at the market that makes your job, easier or brightens your day, or who's your favorite market manager.
I was just going to say, are you implying that maybe they should thank their market manager? That would be fun.
Now we're fishing for things.
We always thank them. We're excited about our farmers and vendors. Easy crafts for Thanksgiving, the traditional kids handprint turkey. Hopefully everybody's done one of those in their life. If you haven't, jump on in with the kids, do an adult handprint turkey. That's always good. A thankfulness tree with construction paper leaves. Those are fun, where you have the leaves cut out and you write something on there that you're thankful for and then put it on a big poster board. People like to peruse through those. They're cool. One thing to remember is that any craft project or concert or chef's demo or any of those things, you just want to be careful to not tie people up for too long standing around watching something or doing something with glue sticks versus shopping. The goal is for them to keep moving down the aisles, keep shopping, and keep your farmers and vendors in business. So do remember that. We try to not get too elaborate with things where people have to sit and watch a class for half an hour instead of grocery shopping.
Because then maybe they have to go afterwards. Right. Or if they have a kid's craft that takes too long, all the kids' patient energy is going to be used up at that craft. And then when they're done, they're wild and ready to go home, and there's no time to shop.
Yeah.
So think about people's schedules.
Got to weigh it all out. Yeah. So that's some ideas for Thanksgiving. Hanukkah, we always have a good time at the markets during Hanukkah because there's so many foods involved. And especially latkes, potato pancakes, are great if you realize that they don't have to be made with potatoes. So there's nothing about the tradition that requires them to be made with potatoes. The whole latke tradition is about the oil. So it's frying in oil because the oil is related to keeping the lamps lit through the Hanukkah holiday. We won't go deeply into a cultural lesson here, but that's the basic idea. So those latkes can be made with anything. It doesn't have to be with potatoes if you don't have potatoes in your market. We've had chef demos, and we've even had latke throwdowns where multiple chefs came out and made latkes with all kinds of root vegetables. So sweet potatoes make great latkes, and beets, when you shred up beets, they work well. Carrots, butternut squash, all of those things. So latke contests and latke recipes that you give out to people to remind people they can use a lot of different things. Those are a lot of really good farmers market products that are out there this time of year, the root veggies and things, no matter what area of the country you're in. We've seen people do menorah lightings. That was kind of a big deal at a market across town from us last year. And in certain areas, I think that could make a lot of sense. That's going to take investing in a big menorah. But there's that, decorated dreidel. Anybody know if I'm saying that wrong?
I don't know.
Anyway, that's a fun kids craft, so that could work. But again, foods, recipe cards, shopping lists in your email newsletters, or on little flyers at your information booth that point out latke ingredients and where to get. You've got an olive oil vendor that they can get oil to use there, and brisket and things to make kugel and such. So a lot of things to play with there.
Yeah. What's great about holidays, for the most part, most holidays are food related.
That's true.
Especially in America, we like to make everything food related, but if we're taking a day off, we're eating, and it's really special. So as farmers market people, we have a lot to kind of play around with because there's a lot of food available, and you can really, kind of curate what your shopper is going to see and notice at the market depending on what holiday it is.
Exactly.
So, it's a great way to tie your market into their life.
Absolutely.
For sure.
And there's the big dog.
It's a big Christmas.
Christmas is coming up. Yep. And so a lot of markets actually do special holiday markets through the whole month of December. So there's a lot of ways that you can make that happen. In Dallas-Fort Worth, The Dallas Farmers Market does a Christmas market that includes a tamale festival. So I thought that was a really cool idea.
I want to go there.
Yeah, right? So they have people come out. There's a big long table. They actually make tamales at the market and show people how to make tamales. And of course, that can incorporate local ingredients. So that's cool. And then they really go all out. They have a skating rink at their market through the month of December. Seasonal drinks, a kids zone. They have carolers. And you can have your picture taken with Santa. And that's kind of a fun idea. Whether or not you've got a really big guy on your staff or somebody that in the neighborhood that dresses up, if you know somebody in your community that does that, that can be cool. Yeah. But even simpler, if you don't want to get into the Santa thing, it's pretty easy to rig up sort of a casual photo booth with just a fun background, do some big boxes that are wrapped in wrapping paper in the background and some fun things on sticks, Santa hats and what have you. And
poinsettias from your growers,
that kind of thing. So pretty easy to set up just a kind of a photo booth area where people can take their own pictures with their own phones. You don't have to get too complicated or too involved or add too much staff. Yeah. Just fix it up, and that's fun for people. And it'd be fun to see those turn up on Christmas cards and things. Maybe do a follow-up activity where you ask people to send you the cards that they make with your backdrop. So that could be fun at the market.
It's a great social media way to involve social media too. Give them a special hashtag, Dallas Market at Christmas or something, so you can get kind of caught in all those photos. You can repost those photos, show how many people are having fun at your market. Very low overhead.
Yeah, exactly.
When you start being the one that's in charge of taking the photos or doing a big craft project or, setting up a skating rink.
Yeah.
It's all about balance, but think about how much can you actually handle. You don't want to stress yourself out.
Right.
Making big projects at your market. So make a list of all the things you want to do and pick the things that you have the bandwidth for.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Don't make yourself too crazy.
Yeah.
So other Christmas things, Santa visits and all that is cool. Shopping lists again. A lot of markets increase their craft and gift vendors during this season. So if you typically only have a few craft or gift vendors, or maybe none, if you're a pure producer's market and you don't do even locally produced arts and crafts, maybe think about that. It's a way to increase the opportunities, the reasons for people to come to the market, and of course increase your booth income. So, good for the market too. And it makes it fun. And again, encouraging people to buy locally produced things is cool in terms of gifts. If you're going to accumulate local stuff. Yeah.
And it's a nice way for those handcrafted vendors. Maybe they come to your market and they shop all the time, or they know people in the area, invite them to be a part of the market. And then you'll kind of get their fan base, their loyalty, and just tie it in with you. So it just kind of expands your reach. When you invite new vendors just to come in for the holiday season, you just, make them a part of your market, even if it's just for a short period of the year.
Yeah, even that little period. And then, bring them back for Mother's Day.
Exactly.
New group. We actually like to also encourage shoppers to buy from the market for holidays. We don't sell a lot of stuff, but we sell insulated shopping bags and we sell market gift cards. And it's great to use your email newsletters, use a flyer at your info booth to encourage people to give the gift of healthy eating by making that a gift that they give to their kid's teacher or somebody in their family or their neighbor that lives next door. I mean, that's a terrific way to spread the word about your market. And it's a nice, low clutter kind of gift giving suggestion. So that can be a cool thing. I know some other markets sell other items that would work, postcards and T-shirts and what have you.
Cookbook, Portland Farmers Market cookbook. Oh, beautiful gift.
So beautiful, yeah. And I saw somebody's market not too long ago, and it's escaping me who it was, but there was a beautiful calendar. So, actually, Union Square Green Market has a great calendar. I can't remember the artist's name. I think it's Allie. She does beautiful work. We want to use her for something at the conference because she is amazing.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And she does a seasonal calendar where each month has a wonderful illustration of what's in season. Yeah. That would be a great thing to encourage people to buy for themselves or as gifts, because then they'll keep looking at it all year and it gives them a reminder to come back to your market then next month.
Exactly. Pomegranates are in season now because it's on your calendar,
Exactly.
So that's awesome. Yeah, I want to do one of those for our markets, but bandwidth and all that.
And all that.
And all that stuff.
Seasonal wreaths and trees, if you have a grower in your area, good to encourage that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you're in
California.
Is it all of California?
It really is all of California, although the ag commissioners and ag inspectors have, like all California laws, the right to interpret and enforce. So I think our county interprets it somewhat more proactively than some counties. But, in California, farmers markets vendors can't have arts and crafts in their certified market booth. And they consider wreaths arts and crafts. The wire that holds it together is not of the farm's own production.
I know this is a recording, but I just want to tell everyone that my eyes are rolling back in my head right now.
And we understand the reasons that California has laws that limit what's sold at the certified farmers market, so it doesn't turn into a free-for-all. But that particular one, there's a few elements of that law that make Bridget and I just a little crazy.
They take it to a really ridiculous level. Our beekeepers can sell honey and comb, but they can't sell a beeswax candle made out of their own bees.
Unless they're growing the cotton for the wick.
Growing the wick. Oh my gosh, don't get me started.
Don't get started.
Don't get started. So,
ag commissioners may listen to this podcast.
I hope they do. I hope they're listening. It's just so restrictive. And it's like, farmers deserve to make, all those little special bonus items out of the stuff that they're growing or creating, just the same way our hot sauce vendor can put a Christmas gift pack together. Right. Why can't the farmers do a wreath out of all of their flowers and their beautiful little dried chili peppers that they do? Why can't they put a little piece of ribbon on that, put some wire on it? No one's going to think that they're trying to pretend that they grew wire. I hope someone is listening. Are we going to edit this out? I'm on a soapbox now. Anyways.
Here we go.
But we have had one of our farmers, he took a booth outside of the certified farmers market section. So he could sell his homegrown wire.
That's right.
His wreaths and beautiful bouquets and things like that. So
garlands and what have you. Yeah. Trees. Christmas tree farmers would be cool to have.
We don't have very many over here in Southern California, but
I'm sure you see them more at the...
a lot of different parts of the country, I'm sure, have beautiful Christmas tree farmers, and, that'd be such an excellent thing to have at your market. You could have a tree decorating area. That'd be a fun activity for the kids.
That would be fun.
So that's excellent. That's a good idea.
We had I know that there was a market somewhere that did like a tree decorating. It was a fundraiser tied in around the holidays where they had different interior designers decorate the trees, showed them at the market, and then you could bid to buy those trees fully decorated and take them home. That'd be cool.
We did a wreath like that, right?
That's right.
Pacific Beach.
The Pacific Beach Market does the wreaths on Crystal Pier, and the market always does one.
Yeah, that's so fun. Yeah. That's nice. You can put kind of dried fruit on there.
Yeah.
Do the dried oranges for the garland with the cinnamon sticks and stuff. Right. So that's... Yeah. So many ideas.
Gingerbread houses. So just remember that this is a great time of year to promote your craft and gift vendors. Mm-hmm. For us at least, we don't promote them a ton during the rest of the year. We really are farm focused, but we do devote more of our marketing space to our crafts and artists and gift vendors this time of year. So this is a good time of year to do that, and to other items that are appropriate for the holidays. If you've got a baker that's making Christmas cookies, be sure and throw that in your newsletter. If you've got somebody making a special holiday bread, be sure you mention that. Your jam vendor that's putting things together with a little bow on top to make a gift pack, be sure you encourage them to do that, and then spread the word for them. Help them get that word out that those are great gifts. Food is always the right size, people.
Food is always the best gift.
That's right.
Well, yeah, and it's great. Sometimes I've mentioned to especially newer vendors, be like, hey, the holidays are coming up. You might want to start thinking about what you can put together as like a gift pack with your products, or what kind of box your product would fit into, and get some of that, gift hay and bows and ribbons that fit. And they look at me like, oh, I didn't even think about that. My olive oil could make a good gift. It's olive oil. Well, sure. Put a bow around it. It's a good gift,
Absolutely. So point out to your vendors, it may not have occurred to them that there's a way to make their product into a good gift item, but they can be. Mm-hmm. Our hummus guys put stuff together with a ribbon around it, and they encourage people to take it to parties, as a hostess thing, that potlucks, parties. And,
and they can even, work with each other and say, hey, take my hummus, and then take this, the person across from me who's selling salsa, get some chips, get some pita chips. There you go. You got a platter going.
Exactly.
You know, take the cheese vendor with, the grape farmer across the way and put a platter together with the almonds.
Our meat rancher that's doing the salami, cut it up. So
exactly.
Got a good tray.
Yeah.
So all those things are good suggestions. We'd like to remember our vendors and farmers at this time of year with a card or a little gift or something. Although lately we've kind of moved. We've become more aware that there's a diversity of people who are vending and farming. And so we've kind of moved a lot of that towards New Year's.
Yeah.
Yeah, or to Thanksgiving. We try to do remembrance around there. So think about your own market. You know who's in your market. If you think all of your farmers and vendors are folks that are celebrating Christmas, this is a good time to remember them too. The very first year that we gave Christmas cards to vendors, they were just so appreciative for that little card. And then we added a T-shirt, I think, the next year. But they had said that, a lot of market managers don't do anything to remember that they're worth gifting. If you're going to give your kid's teacher a gift, give your farmer and vendor a gift.
Exactly.
Just something small.
Yeah.
Just shows you're thinking of them.
Even a card. So it doesn't even have to be a big monetary thing. If you're working in a smaller market and you don't have a lot of budget to play with, a nice note goes a long way.
It really is the thought that counts.
It really is.
Kwanzaa.
Kwanzaa.
That's kind of our last holiday of the season, I think, that's widely celebrated here. It's in holiday terms, it's relatively new, but it's been celebrated in the U.S. at least for slightly more than 50 years, they say. 96 or so. If you're not familiar with Kwanzaa, study up. It's not a terribly food-centered holiday.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot to work with there in terms of food, but Kwanzaa is named for the Swahili harvest festival of first fruit. That's what that means. So it seems like a good tie-in with farmers markets and, to talk about those things. And most of the recipes you see when you look up, what are you serving for a Kwanzaa celebration would be traditional African foods. A lot of, in America, the U.S. South, those kind of foods tend to be used at Kwanzaa celebrations. So recipes using sweet potatoes or okra, greens, black-eyed peas, if any of those things are still in season around your markets, that's a good time to kind of highlight those.
Yeah, definitely. So take a look at who's celebrating or just introduce maybe a new celebration to your shoppers.
Exactly.
You don't have to say, oh, no one here is celebrating that. We'll introduce them to it,
That's right.
That's what we're here for, education in all ways.
Exactly right.
So, and tie in with the food factor is always great. And the New Year's, of course, is a great way to really blast your farmer's market out and to, get that extra marketing going because farmers markets, no matter what, are just, when people think of healthy places to go or healthy places to shop, farmers markets pop up. And January, is when everyone is going to be the healthiest person they can be.
For those first 2 weeks.
Yep. I used to teach yoga at a gym, 24-hour fitness. Classes were packed. January, first couple weeks, and then they'd kind of start to peter out a little bit, but January was really slamming.
Yeah, and farmers markets tend to, too. If you make a big deal about that, remind people it's time to, first focus on New Year's Eve, sell them as much junk as you can for those New Year's Eve parties, and then segue right into the New Year's resolutions and make sure that you point out all the ways you can make small adjustments to your diet to eat healthy, that you eat more plants, eat more green things.
Yeah.
Then we've got it all for you right here at the market. So, that kind of approach to marketing around that time of year can be really effective.
Yeah, and those shopping lists, pointing out where the parking is around your market, like try to take that time to explain to newer shoppers.
Right.
Because you might have a whole influx of new shoppers to your market. So try to remember that. Oh, welcome to the market. Did you know you can park over here? Did you know that these are our hours? Here's a shopping list for you. Here's a list of vendors and farmers. So just it's a good time for market managers and vendors and farmers to remind themselves that there's going to be new people at the market. So start over with all that fresh information. Make sure everyone knows what's going on so they can build a habit out of it and really keep it all year.
Yeah,
because you will get those people that'll hold on to it. And those are your new regular shoppers.
You do. It's a good time to start with new people.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so we're excited going into the holidays. Hope you are too.
So excited. We also do a separate event, which is something that could work if you're in a neighborhood that has other events or that asks you to manage other events. We do an event that's right after our long Saturday market. It's around the corner.
It's around the corner. So we all get to break down all of our booths. And when we close at 2, hustle over a few blocks down, set up again a full market. It's a Christmas village for the tree lighting in our neighborhood. Set up, usually 70 or 80 booths in a slightly different area of the same neighborhood.
Just a perpendicular street.
And then go from 4 to 8.
Yep.
It's a long day.
It's a very long day.
It's a lot of fun.
It's really fun, and it's nice to be like commiserate with the, vendors and farmers that are there all day with us from 5:30 in the morning until 9:30 at night. And we get each other hot cocoa, and
we're bonded like anybody that goes through.
It's like a war.
It's a gift-giving war out there.
It's a Christmas
shopping war.
But it's great because the neighborhood has Santa come and they light the Christmas tree in the neighborhood. That's what it is. It's like a Christmas tree lighting. And so the holiday gift market is like just part of that big celebration, but we don't have to run the Santa and the Christmas tree lighting. So if someone else is already doing a Christmas tree lighting in your neighborhood or has an event where there's a skating rink or a Santa, if you are into it and you have the capacity, maybe ask if you can bring some of your farmers market vendors.
Do a mini market
And just be, you can be separate, but
bring
together.
Your bakers, bring your gift vendors, bring people selling apples and oranges, and if you've got a grower that's selling wreaths and trees, this would be a great way to tag along with other holiday events.
For sure. And it's a good way to spread the word about your market, too, because if you're really attaching to someone else's event, that you can access all of their regular people who show up at their Christmas tree lighting who maybe haven't been to the market yet or haven't been in a while. So you setting up a little mini taste of your market, that's a great way. It's a great visual face-to-face way to show people that, hey, reminder, we're actually down the street every Tuesday or every Thursday, wherever your market is. So
absolutely. Bring those flyers.
Yep. Bring those flyers. Wear those signs. All right. On that note, we have to get back to our managing our Christmas village.
Thanks for being with us today.
Yeah. Thanks so much. All right. We'll see you guys next time. Hey, thanks for listening to Tent Talk today. Please leave us a review on iTunes, Stitcher, Google, wherever you're listening to this podcast, and let us know how you're enjoying it. Be sure to subscribe to Tent Talk so you don't miss our next episode. And if you want more farmers market tips, tricks, and information, you can subscribe to our weekly newsletter at farmersmarketpros.com, and be sure to follow us on Instagram at farmersmarketpros. This podcast is produced by Farmers Market Pros, where passion meets profit. Today's episode was recorded by Adam Samaha and edited by Justine Marzoni Mead. Original music by David Mead. Hey, thanks for listening.